Hello, everybody. How
Hola.
are you? Let's see. Okay. Comments. Okay. We're here. Jeffrey and I are trying to get our act together. I'm in World War with FedEx, and trying to get a package delivered. And they delivered it to Canada, and then they said no, there were duties and customs due on it. And so the person who was receiving the package, we knew there weren't supposed to be any. And so she got in an argument with them, and they ended up just shipping it back to me. So I opened up my door yesterday, and there was one of my grids sitting on my doorstep. Not happy, and had spent 2.5, 3 hours with them on the phone yesterday. 20, okay, counting the phone call, that's 25 different people I've spoken with within FedEx, and nobody can give me an answer except talk to this other person, and they'll try to help you. And if for those of you who don't know my charming co-host, it's Jeffrey from Ripecolor, and he's on his beautiful roof in Mexico, where
Mexico.
apparently his house is being attacked by chihuahuas. But other than that,
Oh, you heard that?
it's a little bit of local feel. We're fine. Okay. If we have time at the end of the show, we'll take some more questions about past lives. The reason I wanted to do this show about past lives again, I did it a week ago. No, I did it
2 weeks
Thursday.
ago. 2 weeks ago.
And I had so many questions from people that I didn't get answered that were in the chat. And so I went construction. That's okay. We'll live with it, Jeffrey. It's that outdoor feel. Yeah.
The garbage truck went by already. The way they collect the garbage.
Your sound is really garbled.
Oh, shit. Okay. Maybe if I move this closer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's a little better. It's still it's getting echoey again. I don't know. We'll work it out. Jeffrey will sign language his responses. Okay. Yes, of course. Just hold up a card and let us interpret. So I'm going to start with the questions, and if you do have any that you want to add in, I kind of see it's the loyal following. I know a lot of people are not going to be here today because they're watching all the news to see what happens in Miami, but we're going to deal with the really important stuff in life, your past lives. So the first question is, I want to know if my current partner in a past life and what was our relationship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a spirit 7 on this. There's several different ways I can read past lives. And one of them is to do this. And I'm asking if you and your current partner were related in a past life, and where that might have happened. And I'm going to shift. I'm going to shift to the table so you can see the cards as I lay them, and you get so. Get past lives and a little bit of international travel today. We're going to Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Now, this is kind of the past. This is present, and this is the past. Oh, yeah, you did. You had a past life there, and you were parent and child in the past life. This is a past life. No, this is current life. This is a past life. And in the past life, things went along pretty well. You two lived in a very stable, fixed environment. Nothing changed much there. And while there was an opportunity to move and move on and change, you did not. You two stayed together. You were parent and child. and what's happened in this life. In this life, you got together so you could move on. You wanted to, some of the past karma you'd held together, you're ready to let go of. The hardest thing for you to get to agreement on is trying not to make judgments on each other, but you're succeeding because you got the emperor, and that's succeeding at outside endeavors. So, and this tells me, I'm going to put a clarifier on this to see who was the child was.
Oh, you got the Wheel of Fortune.
No, I got the sun.
Oh, it's a sun. I can't see.
Okay. Okay. It's you were the parent and your partner was the child. And due to the dynamics of parents and children, and parents are supposed to be stewards of your life and help you move ahead and stuff. There were some, when you originally got together, there were some judgment problems between the two of you, but those have mostly gone away. And that's the answer to your question. What was your relationship? It was parent to child. And so somehow or another, when you first got together, it may have felt that way, which meant one of you may have been lauding over the other, do it this way. I know better. What'd you get, Jeffrey?
Yeah. And I got that too.
Okay.
That last thing you said, I really got that last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I got, this is a very odd card because sometimes, you could see them as together or sometimes you can see them as, separating.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost get like the child was trying to be the adult.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting. However, I also got the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
But I end on the lovers, so that's really good. You're going to bring it more into harmony, because I think the last one was based in a little bit of an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the child became the parent in a way, so now it's become more balanced. Because
Okay.
this is really about balance, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Debbie Joyce has an interesting question. I'm interested if I have any off-world lives connections, please and thank you. Which means you're looking for galactic lives. Okay. I don't read galactic lives, but I can do a yes no. If you don't know how
Yeah,
yes,
I could do. I don't really. I'm very earthy.
Jeffrey doesn't go in spaceships either. Okay, this on my board, this is yes, and this is a clear no. That's a clear no. And I'm going to ask if you've had any off-world lives or connections, please. I'll be very shocked if it doesn't say yes, because I don't know how you get on this planet if you don't have them. But what you do with them and stuff, I work with things that happen in this world. Yes, you very clearly did. And I don't know how that helps you unless, if you meditate just before you go to sleep at night and say, please enlighten me about, the universe will be glad to enlighten you about that. And sometimes, if it's being good, can't make promises for the universe every day. Okay, someone wants a relevant, useful past life information. Well, I don't know how relevant or useful it will be, but
And the last question is a definite yes. I have, looking toward, something other, hearing the call, like being reborn, and then the Pentacles. So, yeah, and it was very full and very rich, and I agree. Like it's right there if you want to listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vernie,
Okay.
444. He wants to know if there's any relevant information from a past life. So we're going to I'm going to do it in the garden. Was Vernie male or female? Oh, very much. We're looking at a female life. And what other point on the compass of this can you point to that as to how she's using it in this life? She's using it. The most important thing in this life is getting back in touch with the whole family and to understand that part of your karma from your soul family. So we're going to lay out what in this life connects to your soul family now. Okay, it's part of your destiny. You're here in this life to release the ancestral pulls from that family. Your problem was, and this is the citrine, and it's saying you were in limited, your family before now limited your belief, and you're coming in. You've got your little bit of amber, which is also part of our soul thing. It's to seek harmony. So, what's relevant from that past life was of dealing with your soul family. I think you're going to be working out some karma so you have fewer members if you in your soul family, so that you can move on. And we're going to see. I'm going to do a real quick. That's not a chihuahua. I know.
Oh, I'm surrounded by dogs.
I know. You're in Mexico. You're always surrounded by dogs. And I'm going to see what signals from that past life have entered into this life that you're working on. Because if you're ditching parts of your soul family, it means you're moving on and creating new things for yourself. So this deck is
Yes.
called Past Life Oracle Cards. It's by Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss. Oh dear. Okay. In that past life, one of the reasons why you're coming back to settle stuff with your soul family is you were orphaned in that past life. You became an orphan and you took religious vows to get out of that. And you worked in a very religious nunnery in the Middle Ages. So some of the people you're ditching in this life are the folks that let that happen to you. So that, and by not being an orphan anymore means you're taking care of yourself. What you got, Jeffrey?
I got that there's a craft that you can utilize, that there's something that you know from your past life, some sort of craft or some sort of physical thing
Mm-hmm.
that you perfected or are
Mm-hmm.
perfecting in this life. I also get dropping the burden, being overwhelmed in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dropping the burden. And because, this is a 9, this is a 10, so there's a high cards. And the more you shed this, what I'm getting is you have to shed a certain responsibility that you have in your head that's not real. I owe
Mm-hmm.
it to them or something like that, because then you'll be free. And then
Mm-hmm.
you'll be in a position where you're being supported. So like it's this energy of like, look for where the support is and go where the light is, go where the warmth is, like go to a place that's warm,
Mm-hmm.
not physically but emotionally.
Yeah, I
That's the
think that's
key.
what she learned in this life. She may have been an orphan, but she got taken into a community that was really family, and it ended up being the makings of her. I think you may like to do some medieval sort of craft like needlework that goes all the way back to then. And when you picked it up, you felt like I've done this before, and that may be true. You had done it before. The nuns did a lot of the fine needlework that was done in the Middle Ages. Okay, Nancy Cast. I've moved to Fort Worth. Do I have past life connections here? We're gonna do.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Nancy Cast in 2 days. It's no fun.
Oh, really? It's funny because there are certain people who show up on your channel all the time, and you know their
Mhm.
names and everything, but you never really meet them.
Oh,
Oh.
I've met her in the flesh last year when she came down to visit her friends in
That
Fort
being
Worth.
said, hello, Teresa, and hello, Vicky.
You
I
got
don't see any
Jeffrey
other names
watching the
right now.
chat because I can't read cards and watch the chat. Okay,
Oh,
Nancy
let me
Cast.
see what else. My quick bear. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Angela. Kathy. Don't
Okay,
be offended if I missed anyone. Bernie. Lise, is that correct?
okay,
All
we're
right.
gonna go. Do I have past? I'm doing it as a yes, no, Nancy. Yes, and you were very successful here. But part of whatever was part of that success, you're not feeling comfortable with it yet. And I think you had chances early in your life to come to this part of the country, and you didn't. But you're going to thrive here. It's going to be a bit of a getting used to because you got the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords means new beginnings, but sometimes new beginnings, if it's Pentacles, it means new beginnings and money. If it's Wands, it's enterprises and ideas. If it's Hearts, if it's Cups, it's hearts and love. But with the sword, it's new challenges to your mind and challenges to your ability to do things. And one of the parts of the Ace of Swords is you get moving along and it's going along, and then all of a sudden there's like a speed bump. And you think, I was moving along and now I'm not sure. That's your chance to reconsider and look at all the options. The problem is if you get moving too fast on a track, you'll skip other options that might be to the side. And there's going to be a lot of toing and froing, a lot of communicating, but eventually you're going to really get settled in. You're not right this second, but you will be. What you got, Mr.
Yeah, I got you planted seeds in Fort Worth in the past, and it's going to lead to something really good. However, excuse me, I have the Ten of Swords, so there's a way of thinking. Maybe, let's say, I don't know, you have a garden and, you think, oh, I got to grow this, I got to grow that, I got to grow that. It's like you still have the garden, but it's like maybe you need to like grow a completely different plant. Maybe you need, because this is like, you can't revive a dead idea.
Well, no.
But the good news is that a new one is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like an old way of thinking is dead and a new one is coming because it's a completion of a certain way of thinking. So, but this is a great card, and so is this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take the Ace of Pentacles any day. Lunch is on you now.
Even the 7. The 7 is good.
Yeah, the 7's good too. L&R, insight into past life connection with birth family. They've had difficult situations. So I'm going to use the garden for this. I'm going to see in that family, were you a male or a female in that family? She's a female. And I'm getting the 1700s that far with that family. Okay, what may have been a problem, what may have been a situation within that family then. You were older in the family. This time I think the problem was the top down, your parents. I think in that life, well, I'm getting the feeling that in that life, your parents were the children and you were the parent. And apparently you weren't that good at doing that. Anyway, or they're taking it out on you now. Is that interpretation of, wait, my arm did a weird thing. Is that interpretation of the family dynamic correct? Yes. So we got you in the 1700s. You're the parent. The people who you have difficulties with are the child. And we're going to see what was the dynamic in the 1700s. Well, the ability to give and receive and to have good fortune was off the board, and it was in Gemini. You were the father, but the mother had all the power. You didn't protect those children, and they came back with a vengeance, kid. And
Wow.
it's not a great situation, but okay, let's see. If you're going to be, if you learn forgiveness and can forgive them for how they treated you, will that be reciprocated with them for forgiving you? Yeah, kind of. Sorry, I didn't get a clear yes. What'd you get, Jeffrey?
I got a lot. Yeah, I get this tyrannical energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get this because sometimes this can be like a club, like boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And I also get this, which to me is the tyrant. To me, that's the tyrant. You have to do it my way and only my way, and then they did it your way, and it's like, and then they were done. There was this energy of like, yeah, okay, like to shut you up, I'll do it. And it was very burdensome. But what I really want to see is how you can heal it in this life. Yeah, by seeing it in a sense of peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Letting go of the past, letting go of that energy, and like going to a place that's more loving, calm, and because nobody ever does what we want them to do. No one ever acts the way that we want them to
Mhm.
do. You know, sometimes their personalities, and it's like, okay, I'm going to let you be you. I'm
Mhm.
going to let you be you, and I'm going to be me, and you could be you, and I'll be me, and I'm not trying to get involved in your, energy and like controlling or not controlling. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah. Go
I'm
ahead.
going to do a yes no on. You know, there are some people I know who work with the Akashic Records. One in particular, who says that soon they won't be relevant. They'll be relevant to some extent, but not completely, because we're going to be losing the power that karma has over us as we evolve. So let's see if you're going to evolve out of being in this situation. Is just one tyrant feeding to another. So, will you be able to break this cycle, Ellen? Absolutely. Completely. God, you got 5, you got 6 yeses. This is totally in your hands. What do you choose to do about it? You can hide from
Right.
it and play like it's not there, or you can decide to ride on and be as successful as you can and banish their negative thinking from you. You've got some help and you've had some counselors who've worked with you, and you got the Empresses out. Jeffrey, it's the Fool, 4 of Swords, 6 of Coins, Hermit, and Empress. All yes.
Wow. Wow.
That's really, yeah, Ellen, you're on the right track. And if you're working on it with some people or talking at it or just looking at it inside yourself or meditating on it, you're gonna be able to beat this rap and come in with a new set of things going on next time. I can see
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
no, I can see how it would be oppressive because you keep walking into it and you're either the parent and you're overly strict or you're the kid and you live in this prison camp basically of thought. And I think you're evolving and they're evolving, so y'all are going to get out of it, the whole bunch of you. What you got, Jeff? Anything else?
No, no, no. That's why that Six of Swords came up.
Mm-hmm.
The Six of Swords is really about I'm getting on the boat. This land doesn't work for me
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I'm going to a place that's more calm, that's more fertile, that's less turbulent, that I can actually grow something, that I can do something at, because that is done.
Okay. I saw a comment because I went over while Jeffrey was talking. Not that I was not listening to what he's doing, but I went over and looked. You can put questions in the chat if you put them in bold. If you have time, we'll get to them. This is made up of questions that were submitted in the prior week and also was in the chat last Thursday. Evelyn H. Drawn to help people, animals, and planets. I can see and feel things. Were you always sensitive in past lives? This may be a quickie because I'm going to do yes or no. Yeah,
So I got a big yes.
Jeffrey got a big yes,
Big yes.
and I got a big, huge yes. You always have been.
Big
And
yes.
then I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask about a past life that you remember. I'm going to use the past life Doreen Virtue Brian Weiss cards,
Wow.
which I understand have been republished, but you probably won't find Doreen Virtue's name on them because she asked that all her name be taken off anything metaphysical when she saw Jesus. So what can I say? I hear she's a very nice lady.
Oh,
She just has her own path. Okay. This is a past life for you. You were happy when you were married. You were not happy in the lives where you were a monk or a nun. And you had a certain you okay. You're happier when you're joined happily with people. You are not happier when you're isolated, and in a way reaching out to animals, people, and the planet are your way of doing that. And you in the past have suffered because of your working for and downtrodden people, but that's just a past life thing. This card tells me, monk or nun, don't work alone. Always work with groups. You're happier working with groups. Okay. Okay, Lise, she's in was in the chat. She's gone off, and I misspelled your name. I'm sorry. Was I a psychic in a past life?
I'll
Big,
give you a little. This is
big time.
Well, it's also interesting. Okay, so this is a little bit of palmistry. So this little, okay, between what
The lifeline,
the head, this is the headline on
right?
top, right? The lifeline goes here, and then this is like the heart line. Between
Mhm,
those two lines, that's called the quadrangle, right?
mhm.
Because it's a little bit like a rectangle. If there's an X in there, that means that you've studied occult stuff in the past. So look at your palm, everybody. If
Also,
there's an X
mhm,
in there, yeah, you're a witch or whatever you
if
want to
you've
call it.
had a lot, if you have a lot of stars on your palms, just all over
Oh,
them, little
stars
rings.
are amazing.
Yeah. My oldest son, I was at a psychic fair once, and he went up to this palmistry lady. He was a little kid, and she knew he was hanging out, trying to not bother his. By the way, Lee, yes, you were very psychic. I'm going to roll that. But
I'm
she
sorry.
she
Yeah.
came up to me and she said, "Have you looked at this child's palm?" And I knew very little about palmistry at the time. His hand looks like the stars in the sky landed on it. He's got. She said, "I've never seen in my entire life a person with this many stars on their
Mm.
palms. They're all over the place. Some of them are bigger than his lifeline and stuff. I mean, it's really incredible. But he's a 22 life path and he's got master numbers all over his chart. So, okay. Well, in whatever life you liked when, yes, Sagittarius, you like Sagittarians, you're very drawn to this. You're psychic in this life. Don't try there's some part of you that wants to be released from having those impulses because you've actively clearly worked in your life to say I'm not part of that, but you absolutely are. And if you're a Sagittarian, you need to look at what planets are in your horoscope if you're not a Sagittarian, because that has a whole lot to do with how well you do with this. And yes, you are. And this person's real easy. Just any old past life. She didn't care. Let's just pick a past life.
Yeah, the last person, you have to learn how to work with it in a new way.
Right.
Learn to work with it in a new way that is beneficial to you. And it's very yellow. Like I got a lot of yellow, so it's really full of light.
Mm-hmm. She is. She really is. Her questions usually are, and they're pretty interesting. Okay. M. Gangora. And I think it's Marby, but I'm not sure. And I'm tearing my cloth up here. We're going to do you with the cards. We're going to do a past life that's affecting you now and how it's working with you and where you are with it and that stuff. So, doing a Spirit 7. Okay.
Interesting. Wow, very interesting.
You want to go first? Or you want me to?
Yeah, no, so I start with the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands can sometimes be read as chaos, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a change in passion. But so the Five of Wands a lot of times is just like a lot of like drama and energy going on around you. Everyone has an opinion. But out of that, you were able to somehow get something. You were able to somehow glean something loving out of it
Mm-hmm.
and become the King of Cups, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So the King of Cups is really like the diplomat. He's the one who sees all sides, understands all sides, has compassion. The King of Cups, to come from this into the King of Cups, you really learned a lot. You really
She
like let
really
people,
rose out of the ashes almost.
yeah, yeah. The King of
Okay,
Cups
what
is a
I
really
see
powerful card.
in this plant, I see somewhat the same thing. You planted your crops very well. You benefited a lot. You had very good judgment, but you didn't tell people it's because of it was your intuition. You used your judgment that was coming through the universe into you to make things better. That's the past life. In this life, you've just decided you didn't want to got involved in a lot of battles. As a matter of fact, you self-isolated from people at times to not be engaged in things, but that's changing for you now. Now you want to go out and be engaged with them. You're just not sure what move to make right now. But if you can go back into this past life, but turn this card around, this time acknowledge your intuition instead of running from it. That's the high priestess, Jeffrey.
Okay. I was reading the comments. Everyone's saying, I have an X on my palm.
Very good. Things we learned. So this card is the one you need to turn around next. Next time you're offered the chance to move on and go to something better. That's the Six of Swords in this deck, Jeffrey. That's where you want to go. And you're just at the cusp of that because you have brilliant, bright, new, creative, inventive ideas riding into your life right now. So you've got the makings to become in essence the King of Cups again in this life.
Yeah, very powerful.
That's
probably the best king in a lot of ways.
Okay, I'm not sure, Sue, if I can do this, Sue Toffee, if I can do your most recent past life. I'm not terribly, I kind of take what the cards want you to know, and that's the one you need to be working with. But okay, we're going to concentrate. Sue Toffee's last past life. I know what we're going to do. We're going to use these instead. Okay. You were in Asia. You were involved in financial things. And you were orphaned from it. The way I'm reading this is I'm seeing you in Asia before World War II. You were involved in a lot of financial dealings between the countries there, not over here. That's why sometimes, Sue, it may seem like the way we trade and the way we deal and how American business is structured is a little out of whack, because there everything was relationships, transactional. You got to know people. Nothing was done at arm's length. And you were very heavily involved in finances, but you felt very out of place there. So I'm going to see how does that life get reflected into this life. I'm going to do the 7. It's really kind of exotic, Jeffrey, with that person yelling in the background. I mean, just that.
Oh, well,
it sounds
that's something else I'll explain to you about Mexico.
I know. It feels a little like we're in an exotic marketplace and someone's yelling out their wares. So
they go around on these trucks and they collect mattresses and ovens. And so they were like, I hear it, no exaggeration, 20 or 30 times a day, because there are a million people doing this. And they have their little microphone. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, well, it sounds a little like we're in some exotic Middle Eastern market. Okay, this is the past life. And in that past life, you were a very important and prominent woman, or person with money. And that may have been the person that was in Asia, because there are a lot of women that were traders in Asia at that time. You didn't like the business you were in, but you were very good at it. So this life you came in and you wanted to cast off that burden. I think you maybe even avoid things that have to do with money, but you're beginning to learn how to speak more strongly for yourself. You actually set yourself up into a series of experiences in your early life that pushed you away from being the person that have to make those kinds of decisions. That's how it affected you in this life. But you're beginning to understand how you need to have more of a voice in that arena. I hope that makes sense. What you got, Jeffrey?
Yeah. No, she could really help people. First of all, I started with the past life card. And then I go into the devil and death. So it's like it was a really transformative experience in terms of, I think you got a real lesson in greed there. There's a real lesson in greed and a real lesson. But you were really wonderful with money, really wonderful. And also female, like you said.
Too. We both got the Queen of Pentacles for you, so.
Yeah. And then in this life, I got that actually you're seen as somebody who, or you could be seen as somebody who really knows what they're doing, a leader, someone to follow, someone to admire, someone to trust, right? because you can see really clearly. It's like, oh no, that's the wrong thing to do financially. That's the wrong place to do. Like you instinctively know it because you've been there before, and you can actually help establish. You can help people. You can really help people like build businesses and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, right?
Okay.
Very
Oh,
interesting reading. Yeah,
this one's
yeah,
fun.
and it's
I
yeah,
think you're going
it's
to
your
like this
destiny.
one. Where does my abdominal issue come from in a past life? And when I was typing it, I felt like a spear go right through my stomach.
Well, I think you already have the answer.
But let's see if a spear in the stomach is the answer. Because you got to realize when you're out battling like that, you're asserting yourself. So you're in a lot of energy that you would carry forward. So let's see. Is Pam B's tummy issues from the spear in the gut? Yes. Say yes. Yes. So now how do we do with that? So I'm going to lay out and try to see. You know, you can get a spear in the gut even if you're not the one doing the fighting.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of ask, like, how do we take that out energetically?
Right.
That's what I'm going to ask.
Well, maybe if she knows it's a past life issue, she can ignore it. I'm just having dreams.
I know how. Okay.
You did it fighting for food. You were protecting your family.
Wow.
You were the father in the family, and someone came to steal what your family had, what you put aside for them to have on the table. And you were married. I'm taking the male female card. I think this card looks more like a married couple not getting along particularly well, but you were the father. You were trying to protect your family. I got a question for you, Pam. Does that pain come up when you have to protect yourself from something? Like if you get confronted by someone, do you feel a sword go through you? And if that's true, then you can say, no, that's not this life and let it go. I can't tell you when I was typing that up today, I went, holy crap. Yes, Jeffrey.
Yeah, no, I threw some cards. But I got, yeah, it was violent. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Tower. But then I got the Queen of Pentacles yet again. But I got the Three of Cups. So it's like when you feel that, sometimes I do guided meditation sometimes. And, I lead other people through guided meditation. I mean, I guide myself in meditation every day too. But sometimes if a certain pain comes up or,
Mm-hmm.
a certain weirdness or a jab or whatever, you send light to it. Whatever color comes up for you is the right color, but like a pale pink or green or really
Mm-hmm.
energy loving, kind, healing energies, and just place it there. You just let the light do the work. Call on the light, ask for the light for help, because the light is you. It's part of you. It's just calling in your own energy. Call in this some pink light or some green light or Raphael or Mother Mary or whoever, whatever works for you, and just place it there. And just place it there, and think of it as like putting a salve on a wound. And as many times as you need to do it, you do it, and eventually it gets better. That's what I got.
Okay. Um, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I've got to go to the next one. And
Hi Gina. Hi Gigi. Hi Faye.
Mountain Dog Mom 1. I also would like to know how my mom and I were connected. We never got along. I actually moved out before graduation with my friend's parents. We still don't see eye to eye. Okay. Well, I'm going to do uh, 7 interlacing you and your mom and see where that goes. The reason I'm using the cards more than the garden's really good if you're doing a reading or for certain issues. But if it's this kind of question, this could go on forever if I tried to do it with just the garden. Okay. 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 This one's your mom, and this one's you. And your mom walked in with a lot of wounds and a lot of inabilities to make her mind up about things. And uh, she was never given any tools to help parent you. And will you ever see eye to eye? There's at some point there's going to be a coming. You're going to develop a greater understanding of her and give her the forgiveness she needs. But right now you're in retreat. You're hiding out. You're saying, "I don't need any more abuse," and that's absolutely the truth. You came in. You chose this person to be your mother because you wanted to learn how to work with really bad material. I mean, you wanted to have the opportunity to work with someone who was not a greatly qualified mom. And she's learning in this life, but she hasn't learned much. And this was her father. Her father is an incredibly negative creature. So she learned from him, and you learned to get out. She stayed. Her problem was she tried to stay in the family system and make it better. You've
Hmm.
learned that by getting out, you make your family system better.
Hmm.
What'd you get, Jeffrey?
Yeah, no, I got basically what I felt and heard was it was about self-preservation. It was
Mm-hmm.
about having the opportunity to take care of yourself and seeing it and jumping on it. Because a lot of people don't do that. They just
Mm-hmm.
stay, right? They just stay. But then I have justice coming up, so that's good. So justice brings it more into balance. And the interesting thing about the justice card, I always feel like it's divine justice. It's really an understanding of balance in a way that us as humans don't really understand. But it's like there's a divine justice that comes down, and it's sort of
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I don't really know why that happened, but everything is like more calm now. And then I got the King of Wands, and the King of Wands takes full responsibility for the past and for
Mm-hmm.
his creativity and for his future. So very interesting. But I also, as the question was being asked, I kept on feeling like you learned really wonderful things from the people you lived with,
Mm-hmm.
from the people you moved in with, and I feel like there was real light and love there, and try to figure out what that gift was, and utilize that gift because you were meant to receive that gift,
Right. Because
right?
soul families are not just the ones we're born into. They're
Oh,
also
not at
they
all.
find their way back into our lives and come along with us. Okay, this is still out of my chest of drawers of questions about this. G. Covington, I would like to know if I was part of the Roman Empire, part of the Greek states in their heydays. Okay.
Whenever you're fascinated with a place,
You've
there's
been
a
there.
reason. Yeah.
That's why my parents forced me to take Latin. Okay. This is, was I part, we're going to do Rome. This is the first line, and Greek is the second line. And there's a lot of overlap between those two. So Rome,
Yeah, that's what I'm really getting, the overlap.
Rome, yeah, Greece. I don't think you were in Greece at the height of it. I think you were in Greece during Rome. But what I see you in Rome is it's a place you're allowed to make a lot of choices. You helped build up the Roman state when it was in good state before Caesar got his deal. Um, you have justice. You fought for fairness. You were at the very end. You were there just as Caesar was taking over. So the news today may seem a little creepy. Do you know why Caesar wanted himself made emperor? Because he owed a lot of debts and the debt collectors were coming for him. So he had himself made emperor so that they couldn't sue him. Does this sound familiar?
So when initially I got you were like a go-between because when the Romans took over Greece, they basically took over their culture and made it their own.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they oppressed them, like the learned people in Greece were very well sought after. They were looking for tutors and people who understood, say science or how to build
Mm-hmm.
things. And so they treated them very well. And I got initially that you were a sort of go between. You were, because you were able to speak both. You were able, maybe like your mother was one and your father was another or something like that. And you were able to be like the diplomat, the go between, and like bridging those cultures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because I get that you were able to like see it in a way because there's an energy in this card of looking at something very clearly. He's almost like a cameraman,
Right. Mm-hmm.
right? So there's this, you were able to see it from the inside and from the outside, and from the outside and from the inside. You had that element about you, and yeah, you were able to like. There's an energy here. I got judgment, so you were able to sort of keep it alive in a way, like
Mm-hmm.
keep it revived in a way. And you were very much a go-between, very much like a diplomat, a businessman, a merchant, but somebody who
Mm-hmm.
saw both sides. Very interesting. Because there were a lot of Greek colonies in Italy
Right.
before Rome
I
even
asked if
existed.
you were male or female, and you definitely were male. The lives we were looking at, you're male. So you chose a dominant position in that culture. Okay, this is Elizabeth. Yay! Do I have a past life tied to my interest in working with dogs in this lifetime?
That's an interesting question.
Hmm? She's a really good person. She shows them, she used to show them, and I think she trains them now. Works with someone, and we're developing training programs. So she's got a beautiful puppy that I see her on Zoom.
Well, if anyone were interested in training in Mexico, I'm sure you could make fortune. But no one seems interested.
Yeah, I have a comment from in the comments for you, Jeffrey. Um, where to go? I marked it. I'm coming. Do your cards. Oh, here's her comment. Chihuahua's at the gate.
I can't even get into it.
I know.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely. And I just got a flash, Elizabeth. You need to go back and look at that group of gentlemen who created the group in England that started classifying dogs for their kennel club. Look at their pictures. You're going to see your face in there. Not your face now, but you're going to recognize yourself. Uh, yeah, this is clearly something that's been through all your life. They help you through trauma. Right now, you're feeling a little frustrated because you wonder, why am I always doing all this? But you don't know what else you want to go into. And I think you're just kind of going through a momentary slump of maybe I should get out of this. You're not going to. You're going to go build something even bigger and better.
Right. Yep.
But I'm serious, Elizabeth. I don't know what it's called. I'll try to see if I can find it. But there's a picture of a bunch of old guys in beards that created the dog rating system. Your picture's in there. You're just living a splinter of that life is in this life.
Yeah, I get a very similar message. It's like there's so much more to come. There's so like I think if you, it's almost like there's a piece in your head that you hope, or your heart, or something to open up. There's so much more to come. There are so many more like gifts and understanding that's going to come to you.
Mhm.
Like that's what I really get. Like it's like you've almost just scratched the surface.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Way
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay, now show.
I guess
How
I
were
should
my
show the
mom and I
like
connected in the past? We had an awkward, strained relationships most of our time together. Her problem was with legal and illegal substances. And a consequence of that, and this would go to part two, and the consequences that followed made loving each other something we did cautiously and guardedly. Will our paths ever come together on better? It's not exactly a past life thing, but we're going to see if it's going to come together better for you and your mom. Okay, let's see if we're going to deal with this life first.
uh, wow.
You got the addiction card right in the middle of the reading.
What, the
Um,
devil?
yeah, my deck is materialism, but that's what was the consequences. Your mom went through a whole lot. I'm getting a past life on her. She came out of the past life with so much pain. When things look like they were lining up that way, you have a choice. Will I work the karma out or will I fall backwards? She fell backwards. She fell right into addiction. Uh, it's her decision whether to start and renew things. And I don't see that being part of her makeup like right today. I'm going to look at where you are in this, and then I'm going to do the past life interconnection. Where do you want to know? Okay, what's done for you, Roni, is being raised in that environment. Your psychic powers got much more highly developed because you had to use every skill you had to survive. Um, you'd like to break the chain. You'd like to get out and talk to her, but you're a grown woman, and this is how she sees you as a page of swords. She won't let you grow up. She won't let you grow up because she stopped herself from growing up.
Wow.
But I can see if this is a past life thing.
Oh, it is. You should see the cards I have.
Okay, then you do her past life. You do her past life.
Yeah, no, it really, I mean, it was super chaotic. Um, what I get was that, like, there was this opportunity for somebody to give something up, but they chose not to. They chose to hang on to it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the interesting thing is, you know what I'm really getting? I'm getting like, the opportunity to heal is there, on both of your parts, but you have to both be. It's almost like the timing has to be correct. It's like, okay, I'm willing to heal this relationship, right? Say a Monday and Tuesday. I mean, that's a weird example. On Monday and Tuesday, I'm willing to heal it, and then the other person is willing to heal it on Wednesday and Thursday. But eventually, the day is going to line up. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a mystery as to when that's going to be. But I feel like there's a willingness on both your parts. It's going to be in this life. It's going to be in this life.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It's going to be
Roni,
in this life.
what I saw, and I didn't have to put cards down to see it, was in the past life that this particular karmic web spun out of. You were the abusive parent, not just awkward, but abusive. She was a child. So she comes into this life. She's your parent, but she sees in you the parent she wanted to see be corrected. So you're like, and she thinks you need to fix it, and you think it comes out of her addictions, but really needs to come from both of you growing past it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
think that's why the high priestess showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go into your questions today. We've got about 5 minutes left, but we don't have that many, so that I see. I'm not going to put chihuahuas at the gate back up. Let's see. Okay, this is a theory question. How does your past life help if you don't remember it? Well, how does your past life hurt if you don't remember it? What it is it's just sort of in the background, and you'll run into people. Have you ever, Teresa, have you never run into someone that you just you knew them from somewhere and you couldn't quite put your finger on it? That's a past life person that's showing up, and that can be for better or for worse. You know.
Yeah. It's also sometimes skills that you didn't realize you had.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So some people, start cooking and they take to it right away, or or music, or, all kinds of skills and abilities that we have that sometimes we're just it's like natural to us. And everyone else like, how'd you do that? I'm like, what are you talking about? This is nothing. Because we've done it before.
Yeah, I can tell you sometimes you just have an innate ability. I obviously am not afraid to talk to people, and
I am.
public speaking, put me in the bigger the crowd, the better. My mom said when I was like 6 and was taking piano lessons, and all the other parents, the kids were crying backstage. They didn't want to go out and play. They had to about hold me back because I wanted to get out there and play every tune I knew. It just never occurred to me to be afraid of big stages, and I do know public speaking is one of those things a lot of people are terrified of. It has never worried me. It never had. And so I always feel like when you run into something like that, you just brought that in. And I don't understand. I mean, it's really, really hard for me to understand why someone can't speak publicly. But I understand it's true because one of my kids is like that. But, okay. Insight into a past life for my family, mother, father, 2 older sisters would be helpful. Okay. That's a lot of past lives. We're going to do just yours because, let's see, I'm going to do it on the garden because so many folks. Okay, quick bear. We're going to start with, was a past life in the 1800s? Yes. Okay. Were you a male or a female? You were male.
Yep, I got that right away.
Were you the head of the household or a child or a person within the household? Head of household or child? Head of household. Head of household. You were a father. You were a father in the 1800s, and I'm going to roll out some stones and then throw the past life cards. Okay, Daddy, who were you? Come to Daddy. Okay. Yeah, clearly you were a male. You were very, very controlling. In this life, you sought clarity by trying to not control other people, but I think within your family system, they're still very tied to controlling. So all you can do is understand you're on a different path as far as how that goes. Quick bear. And what do you got, Jeffrey? And then I'll roll.
I got that you really have to learn how to work with each other. That you got some lessons before, but there's this energy. What I keep on feeling is like, if you all get together on the same page, you can actually work together really well. You can actually work together really well. But everyone needs to know that their place and their ability or whatever. Like instead of like, if everybody, too many cooks in the kitchen sort of energy. So it's like, if everyone does what they're good at doing, then everyone can get together really, really well and work and make something really wonderful together. I got the world.
Okay. So, you done? You got it all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was where you were in that past life. Okay. You were locked in. I tell you what, I saw you was in the Civil War. And out of that, there was a lot of persecution and inquisition. There were a lot of wars and battles. As a matter of fact, in this flag for war is the Civil War flag. It's the rebel flag. I really felt that's why I went to 1800s first. You've let go of the fears and phobias and things that got educated into you in that Civil War, and your family members haven't, and that must be difficult. I'm going to see if you were on in the Confederacy. Was the family in the Confederacy? Yes, you were. And did the father fight in the war? Yeah, you fought in the Civil War and the rebel side, and as a consequence, you carried forward a lot of emotional bruising from having fought that hard for something and having coming to naught. Um, and I think there may be some ideologic problems within her family, Jeffrey. I don't know, but the thing is, you brought in your side, and if nothing else, you can be a signal for them of how to heal.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. How do I get over past lives of starvation so that I can get to a normal weight now? I don't think I've ever had anybody ask me that. Let's see what we can learn from that life that maybe we can help you understand the energy of it. Okay. Past
Wow.
life starving. What'd you get, Jeff?
Well, it's really interesting. So, I mean, I got the moon card. It's a little bit windy here. Hang on. Um, I got the moon card, and the moon card is, this mysterious path, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just you're asking that question in such a directed manner. It's like, okay, well, I know I have issues with food. I know I have issues with starvation. So I know that means issues with safety, issues with fear, right? With
Mm-hmm.
feeding oneself, of taking care of oneself. So it's like you have all this real clarity about it, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like if I keep on looking into this, if I keep on, going down the path of looking into it and trying to get down to its essence, then I have the power to actually manifest, eating well, having a healthy weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I feel like there's energy it's almost like there's energy work that you need to do, like maybe meditation or subliminal um, messages or something like that. It's like if you're aware of it, okay, so then you go to, your higher self, to the angels, and say, this is the issue I have. Can you please heal me of this? I'm willing to be healed. I'm willing to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be brought into balance.
Okay.
That's what I get.
Okay. What I get is, yeah, you were starved in a past life. Everything was wrong. You never got in the right boat with the right people. You got so many mixed messages. I think you even starved to death in one of the lives. So you
Wow.
came in with a real distrust of authority because the reason you starved was because of the hierarchy that was over you. And so you felt like you always had to be in control. So it ended up your one form of control was to eat whatever you wanted to eat when you could get
Right.
it. Okay. And you now have understood the King of Swords upside down as you have a clear understanding that some of the path you've written for yourself does not work. But you got a great card here in the Ace of Swords. It's reversed. It means things that have blocked you in the past can be knocked out of the way. It's like what Jeffrey was saying. I don't know whether you are a person who starves themselves because that's where you're more familiar with, or if you're a person who's overeaten to the point you weigh however many hundreds of pounds and don't want to be there. But I'll tell you from my path, to losing weight, the best thing I found was I found a nutritionally based doctor. I don't know where you live. I know they're not everywhere, but they can really give you an idea of, in my case, how getting so overweight, what steps I had to take to pull my weight back. I've lost over 100 pounds, then I gained 20 back, and I'm now started on a new thing, which is similar to what I was doing before, but it's just new. And the weight's really starting to come off. Whereas when I tried to go back to the way I was eating before, it wasn't really helping. And I'm not going to give you what diets I use because those are good for me and I found them. But open up your mind and open up your heart. And the first person, when I weighed 322 pounds, I think, the first person that I saw that I talk about how that I heard speak about weight loss, he had a 30-day challenge. And Lord knows I'd started and stopped Weight Watchers so many things. This time I didn't. I took his 30-day challenge just to see what happened. And I felt so much better. And it worked for me. So it's a matter of timing within the universe, Bermuda Shaman, too. But I have a feeling, really a strong feeling, someone's coming into your life to teach you how to start this and get it going. And then you have to be nimble. You have to say, well, this worked for a while and I kind of feel stalled. And what do I do? You have to keep your mind open to all that. But it's a real pain in the butt. But I've been for a few days on the new diet and I've always lost 2.5 pounds, which is good because I just came off a whole round of antibiotics, which did my body no help.
Yeah, no, good. The balance is coming. I had the Two of Pentacles, and then I pulled another. I got the Death card. The Death card's fabulous. The Death card is this energy of using the like everything that died in the garden, right? That doesn't work anymore. I'm going to cut it up into a million little pieces and make it fertilizer so that new stuff can grow. The king is dead. Spirit is alive. The Death card, and the Death card is so powerful. It's like, I don't recognize who I was. I don't recognize the way I used to eat. I don't recognize the way I used to think. I don't recognize craving. I don't recognize denial. I don't recognize it. It's not who I am anymore. That's what the Death card's about. But so follow your instinct. Now we're going there. Follow your instinct. You have all the tools you need, to rebalance yourself, to be reborn. Wow.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You found us on the right day, and you found me on the right week because I just really came across this new thing for me. But I found, for me, I have to have sort of a plan. I have to have a structure. I'm not a good unstructured eater. The good unstructured eater forgets when to ever not eat. I've been a healer in past lives. Is there any relevant past life that would help me now? Have I been a healer in a past life? Okay.
Honestly, I think we're all here.
After this, guys, and then I have to let Jeffrey go. But before Jeffrey goes, what are you up to, Jeffrey? What new things you got running?
Oh, what am I up to? I am up to so much. Okay. So I offer tarot readings. I offer pendulum clearing. Pendulum clearing can help you clear a lot of karma, a lot of negative thought patterns, negative belief systems. It's really your angels and guides working. You're asking for what you'd like to receive and then receiving it through, I'm just the director. I'm like, oh no, the guy's over here or the girl's over here. This is what they want. I also do IET, which is basically the same energy. Pendulum is more one-on-one on Zoom. IET, I do remote. I'm offering pendulum classes so you could learn how to utilize this energy for yourself. I offer tarot classes, which I just added today. I also am doing a special for this. I call it the summer reading. So it would be a specific reading for, it's very good when you direct a reading. From June 21st, from the solstice through the fall equinox. So it's already June 12th, 13th. So, I'm offering it until like June 25th or something like that. And I just put that on my site as well. So my site is ripecolor.com. I also have our YouTube channel, and Nancy and I do weekly readings together. And like what the way it's gone with my channel now is that I don't really use the cards. I just get a message and I deliver it. That's what I do daily. And then I do cards by element every week. I think I've said everything.
Yeah, but when you're going to teach tarot, how are you going to do that? Are you going to have
Okay, so
number
I'm
of
going to do it. It's going to be 3 classes, like about an hour each. So you sign up. So the first class is going to be like, I'm going to take you through the tarot, take you through the path, explain the cards, right? The second one would be more, we're going to practice and really practice. And it's like, okay, well, the book says that this card is this and this and this. Okay. Now, what do you see in the card? How does it make you feel? What are you hearing? To try to help you to tune into your own intuition, because that's the way to read cards, is through your own intuition. It doesn't matter. It matters what the book says, but not as much as you think. That's section 2. And then section 3 would be I'm going to show you like 3 or 4 spreads and how to utilize them. It's like, well, I'm asking a question, so I have the basis of the question: why, how, where, and then to interpret it to help you to form a story and make it make sense together.
Mm-hmm.
That's my little tarot thing. So it'll be over Zoom, and hopefully it'll be a few people so that we can interact together and practice on each other. And also, like, person A might ask a question that person B never thought of asking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I'm good. And so the solstice, summer solstice is about right around the 21st.
20th, 21st. Yeah.
And the equinoxes are like 19th, 20th, 21st in September. So, this is a really interesting summer. There's a lot of energy waving around. So it's a good time to go get that done. And if you're interested in a slightly longer scale view, I'm still doing my 6-month readings, but they disappear June 30th. Poof, they're gone because all gone. And I did
almost like my cards just now.
I did a really interesting one last night for a woman who she saw this change coming into her life about 5 years from now. And she hadn't even told me about it. I laid the cards out. It's probably going to be all done by November. And she's like, oh my God, I wasn't ready for it yet. I said, obviously you were. You've been thinking about it. So you never know what's out there. And sometimes the universe is really nice to you and it says, guess what? Nothing really exciting is going to happen. You're going to get all settled in, which I think for all of us at this point in our lives is something we like. Okay, healer and past life.
Yeah.
I'm going to do yes, no on healing and past lives.
Oh, I got a yes.
Yeah, and you helped, but you pulled away from it because you got driven away from your people because of it. I think you're a wise woman in Europe or a Native American healer in this country, and they pulled you away from it, and that's what's made you wonder about doing it. And we're going to look at one that would help you now. What'd you get, Jeffrey?
Well, I got the magician, so that's definite yes. You have a lot of tools, but I get also like it needs to be more balanced. So maybe you have this healing ability, but like you're like, oh no, I'll do everything for you, and then somebody comes and wants to heal you, in whatever way that is, even just a smile, and you're like, oh no, I'm good. So that's not really an exchange of energy. And then I got the past life card, for God's sake. You're an intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Fired. Lightning flash. What did you get?
I got that in the past life, you turned your gift off because you were damaged and hurt by it and driven from the group. Same thing I saw in the first one. That you came into this life not really wanting to change. You're afraid of being driven away from people, but actually it's your path to people. So you need to get on this. You need to get on the chariot and start riding towards it instead of running away from it. And her biggest problem is she doesn't know what kind of healing she wants to do. I don't think she wants to do anything that's hands-on. I think she wants to do energy healing. And if you want to Google something in YouTube and see more than you ever want to know about it, you don't want to be a hands-on healer, go look at plasma healing. Plasma is all the other energy in the universe we don't define any other way. And there's a lot of healers that now understand that's what they heal through, is by connecting to the plasma. And as we get upgraded in our evolution, we can deal with that. So.
Yeah, it's interesting you should say that, because I also got this feeling of another place. I also got that feeling because I got the Fool, right? So the Fool travels, and then I got the Six of Swords. Also, there's this travel element, right? And even I got the Six of Wands, which is also, could be a travel card. So it's interesting you should say that. So, like, even just the other day, I did a video. I don't remember what day because I do one every day. And it was about, being of the light and being in the now. And I made this recommendation sort of off the top of my head. It's like, be in your heart energy and radiate that love to wherever on the planet needs it right now.
Right.
You don't have to know. You don't have to know. Maybe you'll see, sometimes you might see a map. Oh, it's a peninsula. It's a riverbed. It's this or that, whatever. Or you see a certain type of people, it's like, just send it. That's interesting.
That's right. So
yeah.
you've got
but it is a healing energy.
And that's where you're going to find your family. That's where you're going to find your acceptance at the end of the day, when you finally, and now that we've kind of opened that door in the back of your brain, Quick Bear, you might be able to find it. And I think Quick Bear is kind of new to me. I don't remember that name. Seems like one I'd remember.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
We're going to jump to a name we're going to remember too. Blood Moon. I've seen blood moons. They're fascinating. But how do I...
Yeah,
This is more of a technical question than a layout question, Jeffrey. How do I heal past life pain I can hardly remember?
You can book an IET session with me.
Jeffrey does that kind of stuff. The other part is, and working with Jeffrey might open it up so that you can see it, and then you have to convince your current life path to not repress the former one. And that will help you. Blood Moon, keep watching my channel. I talk about all kinds of modalities, do all sorts of things. So does Jeffrey at ripecolor.com. And at that, we're going to have to call it a day, because I did promise Jeffrey I wouldn't keep him for the whole afternoon. And I don't want to keep you.
I want to make tuna fish. I have tuna fish to make.
Oh, I have to go. Today is my fasting day, so I eat 3 small meals in an hour and a half, and I finished one just before I got on here. I'm going to have to go hustle to get the other 2 together. So I will talk to all of you later, and thank you all for
joining. Thank you very much, Nancy. Thank you.
Thank you for coming by.
Blessings
Jeffrey.
to everybody. Blessings.